In 1975, students at Tuol Sleng High School in Cambodia went home for what they thought was summer break. They never returned. Within weeks, the Khmer Rouge transformed their classrooms into torture chambers. They installed barbed wire on the balconies, turned desks into interrogation tables, divided rooms with crude brick walls. For 4 years, over 14,000 people entered this school. Only 7 survived. Every prisoner was photographed before torture began. Men, women, children, their eyes filled with terror, confusion, hope that this was all a mistake. The Khmer Rouge documented everything, every scream, every confession, every death. They wanted people to admit to crimes they never committed. Being educated was a crime. Wearing glasses was a crime. Speaking a foreign language was a crime. When Vietnamese forces liberated Cambodia, they found thousands of photographs scattered on classroom floors, faces of the dead staring back at them. Today, those same rooms remain exactly as they were found, bloodstains still visible on the floors. A school became a symbol of one of history's darkest genocides. In 1957, a miracle drug promised to cure morning sickness. It was called completely safe. It wasn't. Thalidomide was marketed to pregnant women across 46 countries. The ads claimed it was so harmless you couldn't overdose. Then the babies started being born, without arms, without legs, some with flippers where limbs should be. Over 10,000 children worldwide were affected. The German company Grunenthal had ignored early warnings. They buried reports. They silenced doctors who raised concerns. But one woman stood in their way. Frances Kelsey was an FDA officer who refused to approve thalidomide in America. Her colleagues called her stubborn. The drug company pressured her relentlessly. She wouldn't budge. While babies across Europe and Canada were born with devastating deformities, American children were spared. When the truth finally came out, Grunenthal had known about the birth defects for months. They kept selling anyway. The thalidomide scandal changed pharmaceutical testing forever. But for thousands of families, it was already too late. One woman's refusal to compromise saved an entire generation. Between 1989 and 1992, young backpackers started vanishing in Australia. They came from around the world, excited to explore the outback. They were last seen hitchhiking along remote highways. Then they disappeared completely. The killer was Ivan Milat, a local hunter who knew every inch of Belanglo State Forest. His method was simple: offer rides to hitchhikers, drive them deep into the wilderness, then hunt them like animals. 7 bodies were eventually found, buried in shallow graves throughout the forest. Some had been tortured for days. The discovery sent shockwaves around the world. International tourists stopped coming to Australia. The backpacker industry collapsed overnight. Police launched one of the largest manhunts in Australian history. Multiple agencies worked for years to track him down. Ballistics evidence finally connected Milat to the murders. But during the investigation, something even more disturbing emerged. His entire family may have been involved. The Milat clan had turned serial killing into a family business, targeting the most vulnerable victims imaginable, young travelers who just wanted to see the world. Between 1963 and 1965, 2 monsters walked the streets of Manchester. Ian Brady and Myra Hindley didn't just kill children. They recorded their final moments for entertainment. 5 innocent victims, ages 10 to 17, lured with simple offers of help or rides home. Brady was obsessed with Nazi ideology and sadistic literature. He slowly corrupted Hindley, turning her into his willing accomplice. They would hunt together, methodical, patient, evil. The children were taken to remote locations, tortured, murdered, then buried across the desolate Saddleworth Moor. When police finally caught them, they found something that haunts investigators to this day: audio recordings. 10-year-old Leslie Ann Downey's voice, pleading for her mother as Brady and Hindley tortured her. When excerpts played in court, grown men wept. The public was horrified. Brady showed no remorse. Even decades later in prison, he remained proud of his crimes. He had turned an ordinary woman into a child killer through pure manipulation. The Moor's murderers proved that evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks perfectly normal. In 1981, a Japanese student in Paris invited a Dutch classmate to dinner. She never left alive. Issei Sagawa didn't just murder Renée Hardevelt. He spent 3 days eating her body while taking photographs. When police found him, they discovered detailed notes describing the taste and texture of human flesh. But here's where it gets truly horrifying. French courts declared him legally insane and sent him back to Japan. Due to legal loopholes, Japan couldn't retry him. So instead of rotting in prison, Sagawa became a celebrity. He wrote best-selling books about the murder, appeared on talk shows describing how his victim tasted, even starred in adult films. For decades, he walked free while profiting from his crime. He gave interviews detailing which parts of the human body were most tender, signed autographs at book signings. Society didn't just fail to punish him, they rewarded him with fame and fortune. Renee's family watched helplessly as her killer became rich and famous by describing her murder in graphic detail. This is how justice failed and a cannibal became a star.